what it do, gon' tell me how you feel. Chillin' with the big dog, giving you the real deal. No lies or gimmicks, keep it authentic. It's time to turn up, yeah, it's time to get it. Hey.
Okay, remember what I told you. Be your own boss. Love yourself. Get up and dance. Level up.
Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, let's thank the Lord that we are alive to live another day, because tomorrow's never promised, as we all know. But today's Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is Monday. First and foremost, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there, to all the loved ones, to your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers, your husbands, your wives, to everybody. For me and my special occasion, I have more stuff coming, but for my wife, I have what she likes from Mojo Donuts. I got to give a big shout out to Mojo Donuts for hooking it up with all these wonderful, amazing donuts for my wife on her Valentine's Day, which would be today, ladies and gentlemen. So, babe, when you see this podcast, I hope you like what I got you. I love the Death by White chocolate, and I love the abuelita that has inside. That has arroz con leche inside. That shit is phenomenal. It is fire. Let me not drop these because then I'll get murdered. So let me put these to the side for 1 second. Close up this box. Nice and secured right there. And now we're going to get into this podcast. So this podcast, I'm going to do some research right here, and we're going to see what we're going to talk about, basically. And we're going to talk about today, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I had to write this one down, and it's called pointing the finger. Pointing the finger, what a lot of people like to do. A lot of people like to point the finger at each other, point the finger at one specific person, but they don't like pointing the finger at themselves. You know that all my podcasts that I do and everything that we talk about is factual, or events that truly happen, things that happen, things that might bother me, things that might affect me in a specific way, affect you in a specific way. It might not affect me at all. But every time we talk about something, we want to better ourselves, we want to change ourselves, and we want to stop pointing the finger at people, because a lot of people can't admit. So you'll have some people that will tell you you can't admit when you're wrong. Well, first of all, I guess you really don't fucking know me. And this podcast, why I'm going to tell you like it is, to whoever it's going to, or whoever's going to receive this message, you definitely don't know that I'm the motherfucker that can admit anything when I'm wrong or when I'm right. The problem is that you don't know how to separate your work environment versus your friendship environment. So I go ahead and ask 50 fucking people. No, I'm lying to you. I ask more than 50 people. I ask 100 people, and then I ask them a question. So the question to all of you out there, is this bipolar or is this not? So if you're in a working environment, you've been working with me. I got workers that are brand new, and they've never made a mistake since day one. And they've been now already a month in, and they're always on top of their shit. They're actually better than the garbage that I had before. So unfortunately, it's always something comes better. Why do I say garbage? Because when you have specific people, you keep teaching them over and over and over and over. Now, why am I talking about this? Because if you have someone that's been around for 3 years working with you, and they continue to make the same mistakes, but you got new workers over here that they don't even make one mistake from the moment that they've started, because they come from a corporate world, or they come from a world where they're in need of money, or they need to pay their bills, whatever the case may be, and they appreciate what they have because tomorrow's never promised, you know? So when they come from that, and then you see your numbers are going up, meaning you guys, your business, your numbers are going up, your workers have better improvement, your customer satisfaction is a lot better. Everyone is telling you what great employees you have, how better they are than the ones you've had before, whether they had bad attitudes, whatever the case may be. So when you come from a corporate world and now you come to a family business, it's a lot easier for you, because you know that they're teaching you about responsibilities. They're teaching you about customer service, always smiling, the customer's always right, etc. And then you go ahead and then in Spanish is regaña, when you're telling them what they did wrong. And then you show emotions and you tell them a specific way, but then outside of the job atmosphere, outside of the work, you're a different person because you're my friend. So if anybody has an owner, a boss or something, and you go out with them and they are a specific way at work, it's because they're taking care of their business. But if you can't separate that, that's not bipolarism, because you go ahead and say, oh, he acts this way when he's at work, but then outside of work, he acts this way. Guys, everybody knows this. And this is for whoever doesn't feel that. You're a fucking idiot. They're two different things. What you do at work and what you do outside are completely two different things. You want your business to keep growing and rising, not falling because of tu pendejo, because you're such an idiot or fucking asshole that you want to do things your way. Well, if you want to do things your way, the door's right there. You go ahead and go on to the next job and the next job and the next job and the next job. But you're going to go ahead and point the finger. And worse yet, you're talking about not admitting. How many times I've been on this podcast, I've said all the bad things that I've done, all the mistakes I've made. I mean, for God's sakes, ladies and gentlemen, I said I went to prison. I did something I wasn't supposed to do and I had to pay for it. That's admitting your mistakes more than enough. I mean, especially me having to admit mistakes to a child. That's unfortunate. I don't have to admit anything to anyone younger than me. So when you're the boss, you don't have to say anything. It's what you say and that's what goes, period. But you'll learn that when you get older. So that's why I talk about pointing the finger. You need to learn how to point the finger at yourself. If someone's punishing you or someone's telling you something that you're not doing, it's because you're not doing it. It's that simple. Everyone knows. I have all my staff members. I tell them, listen, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong, yada, yada, yada. And then fix it. Boom. They fix the problem. They don't go, oh, and then I'm nice to you. I'm nice to you after 10 minutes or whatever. Because there's no need for a person like myself to keep on dragging it on and being rude, because then you don't have a good work atmosphere, a good working environment, and you don't want them. They want to say, okay, you know what? I did fuck up. And you know what? The guy still cares and he still talks to me and he's telling me something nice. And hey, you want some food or whatever? That's not being bipolar, idiot. That's being compassionate. That's something you're not going to find. Unfortunately, once you leave the family world and you go to the corporate world, you're not going to find compassion. You're not going to find someone to care, because all they're going to do is you're just a number. When you don't do what they say and you mess up once, you're gone. Goodbye, case closed, period. So all of this stuff about pointing the finger, it makes you look a little low, especially when you go back and you start writing to people and you start texting people in the same atmosphere or in the same working environment that you were in. And then you're going to say that, oh, I did this or I did that or I said this or I said that because I wanted to see if you guys were my friends or whatever the case may be. Come on, big dog. Come on. When you want to point the finger at someone, you need to point the finger at yourself. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys, when you want to blame one person and then you start giving an explanation to 20 people, 30 people, and you start giving an explanation to someone that helps everyone, you're going to lose that battle. Okay, first of all, when you go ahead and say to someone, you're a dream killer, or you do this, no. Listen, guys, listen. When an adult believes in a young child, or believes in someone, a young adult, believes in you, and you're not paying for it. I'm going to tell you, when someone, they built your head up for dreams. Building your head up is charging you for your diet, charging you for your workout, charging you for your supplementation, charging you for everything that you do. And they built up a dream in your head, something that you're not going to be. Now, when you got someone that gives you your diet, gives you your supplementation, gives you your workout routine, gives you a place to eat, gives you everything to take you here, take you there, that's not building up your dreams. That means that this person believes in your dreams so that you can build it. But what happens is you don't believe in your own dream. You don't believe in your own success. You're not proving anything to anybody else. And then you look like a fool when you bounce around. And this is to a lot of athletes. They do it all the time. Unfortunately, they go from coach to coach to coach to coach. It's not the fucking coach. It's the person. It's you in the mirror, looking at yourself in the mirror. You're the one who is not doing what they say. You think you know more than the next person, so you try that one just because you're trying to get somewhere, or you're trying to prove a point. You're not proving a point to anybody. You're not proving a point, and no one cares. One day you're here, one day you're not. You're forgotten. It's that simple. You haven't done anything legendary. You haven't done anything successful. All you've done is break your credibility. All you've done is tainted your name. All you did is washed away all the bad things you did. Then what happens is when the person leaves after a month or so, you start to hear things, and you start to hear people talk, and you start to hear people tell you, well, it's great that he's gone or whatever, or she's gone because that person, all he did was say this, say that about you, yada, 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 yada. And then the list goes on, and then you start seeing all the errors the person did, and you start seeing all the mistakes the person did, and you're having to pick up the pieces of the puzzle, fixing all the errors that the person was with you for so long that was making all the mistakes, when you got the new person or the new people that work with you that they don't make any of those mistakes. So that's why I'm talking about this topic. If you're going to point the fucking finger at somebody, point it at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. You're falling, you're deteriorating, you look like a fool, you're in shambles, you're texting, and you're trying to get comfort from someone. The mistake was made. You made the mistake. You're the one who chose the life that you wanted to choose. You're the one who walked away from the dream of the person who had dreams in you, the ones who believed in you, the ones who tried to guide you. And you went ahead and chose one person when you had hundreds of people behind you to let it go all down the drain. Now, that's the choice the person makes. That's the choice the person has to live with for the rest of their life. And they can keep pointing the finger at whoever they want to point. And at the end of the day, it's going to go right back to you. And that's period, guys. That's why I wanted to say about today's topic about pointing the finger. None of you guys should be pointing the finger at nobody. If you're ever going to point the finger, it needs to be turned around and point at yourself. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and think about the mistakes you've made. And we all make mistakes. But you know what we always talk about? And I always tell everybody, the moment you tell somebody no, that's when you're forgotten. That's when everybody puts you to shit because they expect you to say yes. And the number one thing to make you successful, and the number one thing to have balls, or to make you a strong woman, or make you a strong man, whatever the case may be, is the fucking word no. And when no is no, it's period. It's no. And when the person doesn't like that word no, they can get the fuck out of here, period. And that's for all of you out there. Remember that. That word no, you can say. It doesn't always have to be yes. This is fucking Big Dog kicking you the real deal. Point the fucking finger at yourself and learn how to say no to that person. Because you know what? They were only using you from the very beginning. And it's okay because you did your job. And remember what I always tell you. God puts people in people's lives for a specific reason. And when that job is done and the task is done and they're gone, don't ever question God why. Bada boom, bada bang, chicka chung, chicka chang, and I'm out this motherfucker.
Chilling with the big dog, giving you the real deal. No lies or gimmicks, keep it authentic. It's time to turn up, yeah, it's time to get it.